What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Selena here. Today's video, I'm going to be doing another recap slash review. The episode of 90 Day Fiance, The Other Way, Ariela and Biniyam. The last one, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it, about the episodes, because I kind of smashed it all into one video. In this episode, we left off with the mother. She visited the home, the apartment, the second one that Biniyam had already, and she wasn't liking it at all. So now she said, you know what, I want you guys to stay at the guest house with me, you know, until you guys get things settled down, whatever. So there's in this scene, you see him and Ariela, they wake up, say good morning, and then next thing you know, you hear, good morning, mom, and she's like on the other side of the room. It was so funny. He's like, good morning, mom, hey. So she's like, yeah, you slept well. He's like, yeah, I was tired, whatever. So now they're getting ready to head to the hospital. The mother is going to see the hospital. Ariela, Biniyam, and the mother all on the cab. Ariela's like, yeah, you're not gonna like the hospital on the outside because it doesn't look too good. And then I'm like, well, that helps. Like, way to, you know, brighten things up, you know. The day's just starting. You don't want to ruin it all of a sudden. They're on their way to the hospital. They get to the hospital and the inside just looks like a regular hospital. Like, so one of the nurses comes up and she called herself Sister Rahel or something. I want to know why they call themselves sister. Is it because like a religious thing or what? I don't know, but comment down below if you know what that means, like sister so-and-so. Must like in Ethiopia, because like here they call sister, like it's religious in a sense, but over there like is it religious too or what? I don't know, or just being polite. I have no idea. So, and she was pregnant herself too, so she's like, hi, Mr. Rahel. She took him around the hospital, showed him around, and the mother was very impressed. She's like, wow, you guys have all the equipment you need. Just certain like nursing stuff or whatever a lot of nurses would know. She kind of picked out and saw, which she was very comfortable with. We're in 2020. Like this is like their mindset of these people is mind-boggling. Like they really shows you like these people are either clueless or they're beefing it up for the show and making themselves look stupid. Because this is 2020, there are going to be hospitals that have equipment. They need certain equipment, right? And this is the capital city of Ethiopia. This is Addis Ababa. Like they have equipment. Like, have you not seen the city? So like to me, it just was like weird. So like I said, they're in the hospital. She's very surprised with the cleanliness, and one thing she mentioned was safety. She was wondering if, you know, babies are being stolen, what do you guys do to prevent it? And then she says, the lady says, we have tags. The midwife said we have tags. We put tags on the mothers and we put tags on the babies so they match. So we both know that, okay, it's a match kind of thing. So she was very impressed about that. One thing that really annoyed me was she was surprised about the cleanliness. I'm like, really, how dirty did you think a hospital was going to be? Let's be realistic here. Like hospitals need to be clean, first of all, because people are going in there sick or they have really low immune systems, or like they're pregnant, obviously. Like they need to be clean. Like, let's not get overboard here. Now they're talking about emergency. If there's the emergency ward, where would it be? How quickly are you going to take Ariela if something like bad were to happen? They said it's very close by, you don't have to worry. Even the nurses were kind of understanding that, yeah, this is a third world country. We understand that they're going to have concerns and questions, which they should, right? Just some of the questions I found were kind of offensive in a way, but obviously it is what it is, it's TV. But they were like, some of the questions like safety and whatnot were very legitimate, because you don't know the country, you don't know what exactly they have, what they don't have. So the mother was like very consistent of asking questions that were nursing related. So the nurses were saying about if they need to induce labor, whatever, having natural contractions, they put sandbags on the abdomen, and then from there that kind of induces the labor and the cramping or whatever. And she was basically saying, we go for the natural way. If we have to do medication, we will, but we prefer natural, right? And the mother was like, yeah, that's amazing, that's really good to hear. And she was talking and asking questions about medication, so emergency drugs and whatnot. From this, it looked like the mother was very happy about the hospital. I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus, because like we don't need any more drama right now. Like, this lady's gonna have a baby. Like, let's just relax, okay? We go on to the room where she would have a baby. There, basically the lady sits down on this ball or whatever, and she's like, if you sit down here, it kind of relaxes your muscles a little bit. So she's like rolling the ball around like this, and it looks kind of awkward, but okay. But I guess it's to help with the pain. Like I said, they do a lot of natural stuff, so it must work. So she told to sit on the ball and helps the cramping and whatnot. And then she's like, and the husband or Biniyam or fiance or whatever has come to the back and massage her back. And the mother's standing right there as she's doing all this movement. He's massaging the back and the mother is like just standing there. I'm like, that is so awkward. Like, it was so weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyways, all that put together, the mother was happy about the hospital. Thank you, God. And now they go out for some coffee. They have some traditional bunna, whatever, right? So they go to get some coffee and the mother, this is the mama right here when she starts talking to Biniyam about his ex-wife. We're all trying to figure out this as well. I don't think they even mentioned this. I don't think even Biniyam mentioned this when they did the Meet Biniyam episode or Meet Biniyam segment. He didn't mention anything, like he just said I don't think he even mentioned that he had an ex-wife. Did he, guys? I don't know. Anyways, but there was no explanation as to why they broke up, why they got divorced, why she left him, why the baby's with the mother now. Like, there was no explanation as to why. Obviously, the mother is going to want these questions answered as well. I'm surprised Ariela isn't asking these questions for herself. Like, does she really care that much? Like, you need to be careful, girl. Like, those are questions you gotta ask. If you're having a baby with this man, if you're living with him, don't you want to know what happened? Like, that's what mama's there for, right? So now we're at the point where she's asking the questions about the ex-wife. She's like, well, I want to know what happened with your ex-wife. Why did she leave you? And Biniyam was like, even I'm confused. She apparently found messages on his phone about him talking to an old friend, and she didn't like it, and apparently she left him, blocked him, and that was that. And the mother was like, so you didn't do anything wrong? And Biniyam's like, no, I told her I was sorry for everything. I didn't do anything wrong. She's like, aren't you curious as to know why, what happened? Like, this conversation really was just kind of like going in circles. If you, do you guys get it? Like, there was no reason. Like, she just saw messages and she just left you? Nah, like, that's fishy to me. You need, like, even you have to speak and I'm hired to tell us, you gotta tell us. Like, it was just fishy to me. And then the mother goes on to ask another question about something completely different. I'm like, but what happened to the wife, like the ex-wife? Like, are we just gonna stop here? She just saw messages on his phone and then you tell her it's a friend, old friend, okay, whatever, it's an old friend. And then she just leaves you. Like, something's not right. Something is not right. I want to know. She better ask those questions, or Ariela gotta ask those questions. Be a woman, ask those questions, because those are things you gotta ask. Like, why did your ex-wife leave you? What did you do? Is it something he did or is it something she did? Who knows? Like, to me, it's just fishy. Just because she saw messages on your phone, she just leaves you? Like, was there more than just messages? Were there pictures? What was there? We need to figure that out. I found that very fishy that they just ended it like that. Like, are we just gonna stop there? Like, we're not gonna continue this conversation? Because I wanted to know. Didn't you guys want to know? Like, anyway, so then she wants to know about the whole living situation. So they're talking about the whole living situation, how the mother was trying to figure out, how are you going to support the baby? How are you going to support living in the apartment that you have? Where are we going to get this money from? And he says he wants to rent a guest house, and the mother's like, that's a good idea, because where you guys living right now is not gonna be, it's not good. They're talking about renting a guest home. She also had questions as to why Biniyam married one American and now is probably potentially going to marry another American. I get it, I want to know too. But to him, he said, no, my plan is not to move to the States. Because he did already go there once. Like, if you saw the wedding video, it was in the States. Like, he didn't have any family members. You could tell it was in the States. So he said, absolutely not. I want to be here. I need to make a living and be able to provide for the family here. So he said he's going to start doing his singing, like I showed you guys. Dance, dance, baby, cool. Dance, dance, yeah. I embarrassed myself this.
Dance, dance, baby, cool. Dance, dance, bad. Dance, dance, baby, cool. Dance, dance, bad. Dance, dance, baby, cool. Dance, dance, bad.
They're basically just talking about how she can live off of Biniyam, because obviously she's there, she doesn't have a job. Their just main concern is being able to live off of what Biniyam is doing, which is very understandable. They don't know how much he's making. They don't know the living conditions and how much groceries cost and whatnot. There's just so much that comes into play. And then the mother goes, Ariela gave up a lot to be here with you. She gave up a privileged life. And then y'all, Ariela goes, do you know what privilege means? Really? Did you really have to ask that? This is why I can't stand her. I can't stand Ariela. Like, I can't. I just can't. And obviously Biniyam is like, yeah, it's a very good life, whatever. Like, he's not stupid. She's basically saying, like, I gave up a privileged life to be here with you. You know, the mother has concerns, as a mother should. She's very concerned. I understand that, especially when you've never been to Ethiopia before. You don't know what's going on. So she's basically saying, you know, you need to figure out what you guys are going to do to be able to maintain a good life here in Ethiopia. So that's basically where they left off, is that she's very... One's mowing the lawn. That's basically where they left off, is that she's very concerned. The mother's very concerned for Ariela. What irritated me is the whole privilege comment. I'm like, really? Did we really have to go there? That's basically where they left off, and the mother is just saying, like, I don't want to leave here until I know for sure everything is good. She's seen the hospital. She was good about that. It's mostly now the living conditions and the finances. Ariela says she doesn't want to depend on her parents after she was so independent in the States, which is great. She doesn't want to have to be dependent on her parents again, which is understandable. With that being said, I mean, Ariela should have thought about all this. Like, she should have done her research before coming to Ethiopia. Maybe gone ahead and see what she could do in Ethiopia as a freelance writer, that she said she was. Maybe doing that in Ethiopia. Like, there could have been options she could have looked into. That's basically it for that episode. I'm interested to see how this plays out, honestly. I'm really excited. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. That really helps my channel out a lot. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Comment down below what you guys thought about this episode, what you thought about some certain comments that irritated you, like that irritated me. What you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. Yeah, let's just have a conversation, y'all. Conversation. But until next time, bye. I was listening to a Drake song, that's why that came up. Sweet.